All right, everyone, welcome back to the Off Court Podcast, the Padel podcast covering all your Padel needs. We are your hosts. My name is Hugh, as always joined by
Connor. What's up, guys?
How's it going? And today we have a very, very special guest here at the Hand and Padel, minutes away from Kensington Olympia, where the London P1 is taking place. Today, we're joined by Louis Jarrold, better known as Padelactico, a player and a creator who has documented his journey from tennis into competitive padel, taking viewers inside the training, tournaments, setbacks, and breakthroughs along the way. What began as a personal challenge has since taken Louis into international competition, high-performance training, and representing Ireland. While Padelactico itself has grown into a platform connecting players through content and experience, Louis, welcome to the Off Court Podcast. How are you today? How's it going?
I'm amazing. That was a great intro.
Was that nice? Yeah. We always like to treat our guests.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. It's a pleasure having you. How's your experience at the London P1 been so far?
Amazing. Like, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
I don't come to West London that often.
You're East London?
I'm North London.
North London.
North.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but to be honest, it's like the venue's incredible.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Meeting so many, just meeting you guys and so many new people who are obviously quite influential in the paddle scene is amazing as well. And of course, the players are all here. Which is
That's sweet. Is it? You've been to a few Premier Paddle events as well?
Yeah, I actually recently went to one in Valencia.
Nice.
Okay. The P1 there?
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw the final there and also a little bit of qualies.
Amazing.
Was incredible. Obviously quite different to here. Like the setup is smaller. There aren't so many practice courts and outside courts. There's like a stadium with that main center court. And the vibe is a little bit different, but I kind of like it here. Like it's fun because you see people who are newer to paddle basically.
Yeah.
We were speaking to Pablo from the fourth set yesterday, and he actually said that London P1 was one of his favorite 2026 tournaments so far, the venue and how it was set up and everything.
Yeah, and I do love that they put the training court right at the entrance, so like you can go and see like Korea and Tapia and Chingo like play like or do their training. Super cool. Mm-hmm. But let's get into it. Hugh, you want to hit us with our first question?
Yes. So before Padelactico, for those of you who don't know, Louis' sporting identity came from tennis. Take us back to the start. Let's go right to the beginning. How did paddle enter your life, and what made you take it seriously?
Yeah, well, as you say, I was growing up in London, and my dad was really into tennis, and he used to take me out onto the tennis court and try and teach me tennis. And I kept playing tennis. I kept kind of training, and I started to compete at like a national level. And I think I was competing with other players who were probably, some of them taking it a bit more seriously than me in terms of looking to go pro, as some of them did. But I always had this struggle with tennis because it's an individual sport. Mentally, it's draining. You know? But I did obviously love it, and then I kind of stopped playing properly and competing. I went to uni. I started working in the civil service, which was cool. And then I remember just in my spare time, a friend of mine said, "You got to come and try paddle." And I was kind of hesitant.
Yeah. What year was that?
That was 2023.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So 2 and a bit years ago, and he was a friend I used to play tennis with at school and stuff. And then I think I played twice with him, and the second time was when I was like, "Oof, okay, this is like." I started just to use the walls a little bit. I started to like understand it just a little bit, like not properly. And then I was like, wow, this could be really fun.
Yeah, you got hooked.
I got super hooked.
And now look at you.
Yeah. Well,
now
shout out to your friend as well. He's almost the one that like opened that door for you.
Yeah. Shout out to Arian.
Yeah, Arian. There we go.
Yeah, he'll be at Premier Paddle tomorrow, I think. So.
Nice. Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's super sweet. And at one point, were you like, okay, let me start recording footage? Was that for you to just see yourself play, learn how you're playing, or were you like, I want to go in and why not make some content around this and start posting and putting on a platform? Really, when did that come about?
So it was basically at the time, me and my girlfriend, who still helps me with a lot of the videos. We were, and she plays paddle as well.
Sweet. Okay.
So and she came from a tennis background, and we both wanted to. Well, we wanted to learn paddle, but learn properly. And so we took a sabbatical from work and went to Spain.
So sick.
Okay.
That sounds like a dream.
Was really, really good. And then started learning there and thought, oh, why don't we make, maybe a video or two about this, see if people are interested or whatever. And didn't think too much of it.
Yeah.
And then that first, I think it was one of our first proper videos. Almost overnight, the algorithm pushed it to I think it was 40,000 views.
Wow.
Whoa. That's on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Wow.
It was one of the earliest things. And then it was people were kind of commenting when's the next video? And I was I don't know, but we should probably continue.
That was predominantly an English speaking audience that kind of picked up on your content, or the people commenting at least.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Spanish viewers as well.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was predominantly, I think, a UK audience.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Our UK audience came in a little bit later. We started touching in on every non-Spanish European country.
Right.
And then within the last 8 months, that's when the UK audience started coming in a little bit.
And even South Africa, Middle East.
Yeah, South Africa as well.
As well. There's a big audience there.
But that's why
So a lot of people from Italy or countries like that.
It's Netherlands, Germany,
Sweden.
Sweden, of course.
Scandinavia, some Norway, Sweden.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few listeners there as well.
So they're all spread out, but we're okay, we're London based. Let's try.
Let us know where you guys are listening from as well. Yeah.
Definitely. And one of my favorite aspects of your videos basically is there's definitely a cinematic feeling to them. We kind of live in a short form world now where we're stuffing information and the speed of cuts and everything. And I noticed the pacing of your editing and everything like that is much slower. Soundtrack is a nice element to that too. It's not just the royalty free. What made you want to create your aesthetic or your feeling when people consume the videos that you make?
That was just how I always wanted to make videos, because I was always watching films. Again, my girlfriend studied film at uni.
Nice. Look, so it's like a dream partnership that you've got
partnership.
here.
And my so I have some family that work in the arts as well.
Nice.
So I was always interested in that kind of thing, and I think that was just how I wanted to bring that to paddle.
Yeah.
I think at the time, especially, there was no one bringing that to paddle, so I thought that's my way of being a little bit different.
That's
100%.
Yeah, nice.
And you've stuck with it as well. Those elements there.
Tried to. I mean, obviously, the editing takes ages.
Yeah.
So
Are you editing yourself?
mostly me and my girlfriend. We edit. I've just recently gotten had a video that hasn't come out yet, edited by someone else.
Okay, what was that experience like? It's kind of, you got to put your trust in them a little bit.
Connor's the tech side of the
I do all of our editing and everything.
Yeah.
That's also what I do as well. So forming this was just okay, it's just me and Hugh, but we can go and do it all of ourselves.
It's a 2-man team.
It's a lot, but it's fun. You know what I mean? And then you have you get a bit more control. But I can imagine when you're
that's the thing.
I've built a platform here, but here's the vibe. Just kind of carry that on, and I feel like it's quite nice maybe when you get a video delivered and you're like, cool, let's just upload now.
It was the nicest feeling, but like you say, it's that you are giving over creative control and you have a specific vibe. So actually, when I found the editor who I'm going to be working with, it was he hasn't really edited Paddle because I wanted someone that does more of a cinematic thing anyway.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I thought that was cool.
No, that's always the right approach, really. And then you go from there.
Exactly.
And then he's going to be watching a lot of Paddle, basically.
Yeah. now he will.
Yeah. Continuing on from your journey in Paddle, but also as a content creator, your content basically, a lot of Paddle content teaches people how to play.
Yeah.
Your content lets someone who's trying to get better in the sport and become proficient, become professional, trying to improve. Why do you think audiences connect with that so much? Because you do have a big, and I would say loyal following as well. I include myself in that. If you don't watch Louis' videos and you don't follow him, do, because it's top content. And if you're a paddle addict, like the three of us are, it's top notch. Yeah.
It's a good question. I think like you say, it's about letting people in on the journey. And that can be, I mean, you said setbacks in your intro. There's a lot of setbacks.
Yeah.
When you're trying to play a sport and you've only been playing for 2 and a bit years, and you're playing, for example, there's players from Spain who've just done it their whole life. It's a real struggle, but people appreciate that side of things, and they like the honesty. They like to see the journey, and I think that's been the key. And yeah, just trying to also make videos that make people feel some sort of way in terms of the editing, in terms of the pacing, things like that.
Storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. That was always something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I think that the tutorial, teaching videos are really important.
Yeah.
But there's so many now, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought that my angle, it was better for me to do this because, especially when I started, I didn't know much about paddle at all.
Yeah.
So I really did not feel comfortable telling anyone how to hit a bandeja. Do you know what I mean?
It's like imposter syndrome a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I didn't really know how to hit one myself, and so I was like, I can't do that, but I can at least show people my struggle and what I'm trying to do as well.
I mean, you've improved, because I've been watching you not since day one, but I've been watching you for like over a year now. And you've really like upped your game, and you're now playing. We'll get into it later with top players and coaches and all that. So, I mean, you've definitely, if you weren't able to teach, or you felt like you weren't able to teach how to hit a víbora or a bandeja, you definitally can now.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
I'm getting more confident than now.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure, man. Especially when there's a camera on you as well. You're like, I better this, like, we always think like how humbling it is videoing yourself basically and watching that footage back, and you're just like, okay. But to see the improvements and, setting goals, like that's something great to see. And you basically create like a portfolio of your record now of your improvement, which is so sick actually. And maybe setting goals. One of your goals was chasing the top 800. How big did that feel? And when I say chasing the top 800, I mean that as a ranking
in the FIP.
In the FIP. How big did that goal feel to you when you first started that?
I think it felt big when I started. It doesn't feel as big anymore, and that's just because, well, first of all, I've hit around 1,000, which is good, and not too far. I think the other thing you have to understand, and you guys probably know this as well as I do, that the rankings in paddle are unique a little bit because the sport is quite new. So, you can pick up points in a lot of ways from, traveling to tournaments, from maybe playing in tournaments where, people pull out or the draw is small. Yeah. And so it's something that I'm pursuing and I'm really looking forward to it. But I also do want to show people that, it's being 800 in the world at paddle isn't, the be all and end all. And actually it's more just part of the journey,
Yeah. I mean, that segues to sort of my next question perfectly. But, what would you say, like the least glamorous side of rankings within paddle are at the moment that you've experienced?
Well, I mean, the first fact is that the players, I think someone was saying the other day, outside of the top 20, 30 in the world, are really struggling, especially if they're from Spain or Argentina. Obviously, top players from other countries can do well in terms of sponsors, right? Because they're one of the only players in that country. Exactly. So it really does depend, and it's a bit of a lottery at the moment. And so, it's unfortunate, but it is trending in the right way. I can see like the sport growing, and I can see people making a much better living than they were before. So that's cool to see, because I think when I first started paddle, I didn't expect there to be so much buzz around the sport in such a short amount of time. And
it really has.
It really is a crazy boom. I think with the London P1, I mean, paddle made the BBC news the other day where they were talking about they were talking about, the pricing of paddle, like the accessibility of the sport and how it's growing in the UK, because it is by far miles the fastest growing sport in this country. So
it's exciting times. I mean, that's, we're also all, involved in that to some degree. And
you guys play too?
No, we've never played, man. And I'm just kidding.
we have no idea. We do.
Because that's the other thing, because there's some sports where you get kind of armchair fans who don't play much, but it seems like everyone in that stadium is playing quite a lot.
I mean, you can, like, that's what I mean. And you coming from tennis is like, it's the perfect, that's why a lot of ex-tennis players get into it. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I played tennis a lot as well when I was younger, years and years ago. But in order for you to, let's say, have fun or be able to have a decent rally, if you've never picked up a tennis racket in your life, I feel like that actually takes coaching.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'd say around a month. If you have a sort of decent athletic ability and good hand-eye coordination, or you've had racket sport experience in the past, I feel like within a week you can start having fun playing paddle with
definitely.
people
100%.
around your level, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to, I mean, hitting, you know, a proper forehand or backhand in tennis takes a lot of like technique and training, but I don't think that's the same in paddle, and that's why so many people pick it up, right?
No, literally, like,
For sure.
yeah. I mean, that's something that we always worry, because we talk a lot about the best in the world, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I asked it. Like, we don't have imposter syndrome, but we of course sometimes we have to be a little bit critical of the players that we watch like hundreds of hours of, and I do feel like it's a little. I do feel cheeky sometimes, like, oh, you know, Chingo wasn't playing that good this week, and you know, he's one of the best.
Yeah.
And you see him on the practice court and you're like,
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's my first Premier Paddle event I'm going to.
Really?
So,
Wow.
you know, seeing players at this level, that's been like a really fun part of the week for me, because
it's a different
just
sport.
Yeah,
I
from
feel
what
like
I'm
100%.
playing, you know what I mean?
Because I've seen myself on camera sometimes, we were saying before.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Or, you know, I watch your videos, or, you know, Ewan's videos from everything paddle, Stan Hunt.
Yeah, Stan
He's
Hunt,
a
yeah.
Y1 athlete. And I'm like, I feel like I look like this guy. I feel like if I could do like an outside view perspective of my games, and then the few times that I filmed myself, I watch it back and I'm like,
oh my god,
like
always
this,
look slower on camera.
Yeah.
But I see myself doing like a jumping to hit an overhead or a pivot or whatever, and in my head I look like Yanguas, you know, with like the perfect like split leg, perfect balance, sort of floating, and then as like nothing.
No, it's incredible how delusional we can feel when we're
crazy.
playing paddle.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we both enjoy it so much. I mean, Hugh's the reason why I got into paddle like years ago, basically.
Wow.
And it was always from I guess I never really talked about it on the podcast, but like I used to be so unfit and unhealthy, and that's why paddle has a special place in my heart, because it was the one sport I played with my friends socially.
Nice.
And I was just like, man, I want to get better, but genuinely just my fitness is just like not there yet, you know? And you know, that's years ago now, and it's just gotten better and better. That's like my own personal journey with it. And that's why I love the sport, because of that. That's why I go and I like to go and play, even though, you know, I look like a drunk old man playing, basically. Like it's all good fun, but yeah, that's why, you know, go watch the pros now, and it's just like, okay, this is the standard, or it's just like another sport that I'm playing another sport basically when I step on the court, man. But yeah, it's all good fun. We did want to ask you as well that, you know, you represent Ireland as well for the national team.
That's right.
You know, how did that come about? I know you mentioned you're kind of from North London as well.
Yeah.
Where was that decision to represent North Ireland?
And I think actually maybe as well, we were speaking about, you know, the struggle of players that are not in the top 20 in Spain and Argentina, because there in these countries the standard is so high. Is representing Ireland is one of the reasons you chose to do that, because you had like a better chance in Ireland at being a top player than in the UK?
So the first reason was I spoke to their federation because they were getting a team together for the European champs.
Yeah.
And my mum's Irish. I have obviously spent a lot of time over there. I consider myself Irish and British. Like I have both passports. I always have. And so I thought it was a great opportunity to represent one of my two countries and play at the Euros. So I didn't think that deeply about it at the time. But actually, since I have, and at the time, paddle in Ireland was not big, but since then it started booming just like crazy, right? So I do think that there's going to be like so many opportunities for me, obviously as one of the top players in Ireland. But yeah, at that moment, I was more thinking I'd love to represent my country at the Euros. Let's do it. Let's see what we can do, and I'm glad I did it. You know,
Nice.
so I'm really proud to represent Ireland, and we'll continue to do it.
What was it like playing in the Euros with the Ireland national team?
Amazing.
Yeah?
One of the best things I've done in paddle. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I remember watching that video.
Yeah.
You played Croatia?
No, we played
Moldova?
Kosovo.
Kosovo, that was it,
We got a win over Kosovo, and then we played Cyprus, and we played Slovakia, San Marino as well.
San Marino, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I mean, I'll say it, like we were one of the earliest teams in terms of paddle in terms in the competition, but we got a group which was quite favorable because all of the teams were kind of similar-ish. I mean, we ended up not winning the group at all, but we did have chances, you know. It was like some tight matches in there. And yeah, it was just amazing to
that's
see.
so sick.
Like the atmosphere must be great, where like we were just speaking to Eloise Tate, and she was saying like how, you know, being in those national team Euros, whatever you want to call it, environments where all the players are banging on the mesh of the cages and everyone's supporting each other. Yeah. I mean, sounds like an amazing time. But let's move on to our next section here. Probably my favorite section, what I really wanted to talk to you about is, you know, high performance training, because you're well versed in that. You've recently spent several weeks training in a high performance environment with Gustavo Pratto.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Arturo Coello's coach, you'll probably see him on the benches speaking to Coello and Tapia in most tournaments. What did that experience reveal about the gap between being a strong competitive player and operating like a professional? Because you've also been around top players in their respective countries, but also in the world. What's the gap like?
It's a really good question. So I was there for a couple of weeks on a trip sponsored by Square One. So shout out Square One.
Shout out Square One.
And yeah, I was blown away by the detail that they go into.
Yeah.
While I was there, I saw Coello and Tapia training a couple of times. You guys might have seen them here, but they are literally focusing on one sequence or one specific thing in each session. And that's kind of how Pratto breaks down his trainings. Wow. They'll be in sequences. So whether it's like overhead and a block, or, the lob, which you train a lot, and the Chiquita, because he sees them as kind of almost the same thing. Because
it's like about the disguising, right? He talks about that a lot in your videos. I've noticed, and how you would have to prepare if you're defending back of the court off the glass, whether so that they don't know what's coming, so they don't pressure you too much, so they stay in like the no man's land sort of thing, and you can either lob or
and that's the thing, that one way in which paddle differs from tennis. I mean, tennis, you're not always trying to hide the shot. Often you'll contact the ball quite far in front. I think in paddle, there's a tendency, especially with Pratto's methodology, to contact it maybe a little bit closer to your body and to try and hide what you're doing. And I think you see, I mean, I was watching Edu a couple of days ago. And you see he's like, one of my favorites. And he's like the personification of what Pratto and Coello, of course, what Pratto wants, like that neutral preparation and that ability to kind of change shot at the last second.
You've got some Edu Alonso in you.
I appreciate that.
You've got that
a huge compliment.
If you guys don't watch Louis' videos, you'll see you forehand player. That's right. He's like a Alonso, Fran Guerrero sort of hybrid, I would say.
Two of my favorite players. Two of my favorite players.
I can really see you're agile. I feel like you're a very agile, dynamic forehand.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. And I have to ask you, I know you've been asked this question a million times. What's it like playing against Rodrigo Coello, Coello's younger brother, also a pro player in the Premier Paddle Tour? Tamara Ricardo, I recently saw on you did a little practice training thing with her in the P1. Greece's #1 player. I really enjoyed that video. I remember that one as well. What's it like, and who has impressed you the most out of all these top
or someone
guys
that we didn't mention in that roster as well?
Oof,
it's a tough one.
First of all, it's amazing. Like whenever I can get on call with these kind of players, it's a dream. And not only for the content, but also just for me as a player. You feel like you're like being stretched, right? Who has impressed me the most? I mean, Rodrigo Coello is very impressive because he's the brother of Arturo. It feels like people sometimes unfairly,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Associate
criticize.
or-
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
because they're expecting, like him to just be like Coelho, like exactly like Coelho, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But he passed around here in this P1, right? So
Yeah.
he's on the way up, and I think he has crazy variety. Like his overheads are like he'll play never the same overhead, and he's always got something to hurt you, whether that's like a flat bandeja or smash or something. I was also very impressed by Carmen and Bea Caldera.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
you played against
Yeah.
him recently. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So again, just because like for example, Carmen's smash, I don't know, people actually realize how
got a
good
lot
that
of
is.
Yeah, man.
She's got a lot of
It's
power.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
And what would you say is that the biggest difference? Is it technical, tactical, mental, physical? Out of these top players, where do you feel in your journey in paddle that you're like, this is where I'm really not close to these guys at all?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, you can work hard in the gym and you can get into good physical shape, but to be able to play paddle really well, it takes a long time and is very difficult. I think Sanyo's talked about that before, about playing at the right speed, at the right time, and all those decisions. I think that's the hardest part. And I think it comes with experience, and it comes also with training in the right way. So some of these people are training in academies where they're able to, as I said, focus on those sequences every day. And they're able to, it almost becomes automatic in a match. And I think for someone like me, it's not always automatic. It's just, I take a little bit longer to make the decision. Maybe I don't commit to the decision quite as much as they do, right? Like if you watch some of the footage of me playing with them, you can see that they're actually, it looks like they're moving at a faster speed because their brain is working a little bit quicker to make the decisions. I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes you see these guys and you think, wow, they're so fast. Well, it's not like they're running 100 meters really fast necessarily. It's more that they're making decisions so quickly and automatically.
It's like chess. They're like 2 steps ahead. They're like, okay, if the lob comes over now, I'm going to hide the lob, chiquita, transition. And then before you know it, they've played a perfect chiquita and they transition to the net.
Do you think those decisions, and maybe you can feel that as well, but does that do you think that's consciously thought, or is it almost like when you're breathing and that comes into play and it's just like it's almost like muscle memory in a way?
I've been talking to a few people about this. I think it depends on the player.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's some players, like I think at Pratto's academy, they want you to understand the game almost like him.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, I think that works well. Someone like Edu, right? Coelho.
Yeah.
But then there's other players who are playing more on instinct.
Yeah, okay.
And I think those kind of players, first of all, they're really dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, unpredictable, yeah.
But at the same time, I guess it can go the other way where some matches, they probably need to be a bit more tactical.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think those kind of players are playing super automated.
Yeah.
And the other ones are playing automated, but with more of a conscious effort to focus on certain things. Like the way Arturo is talking to Gus in the matches, it's like quite detailed and a lot of information sometimes. So
So you've played with the best, did that make you feel like you're almost closer to the top 800 or further away in some degree?
After the whole experience and
closer, just because some of the people that I've played with are much higher ranked than 800. And of course the level gap is big, but I think that, the real test is when you get towards the top 200, maybe 150. I think that's where you get some like really, really serious players who are like, I would say, fully fledged professionals. Beyond that, like it does become a little bit easier to rise up the rankings. So it gave me confidence, but at the same time, it reminds you how much there is to learn, right?
I mean, it's I always say like the learning curve, it feels like exponential, because you start playing paddle.
It's the Dunning
you're like,
effect,
and
right? The more you learn,
exactly. And I was like,
less
I'm pretty good at this. And like, I'm a pretty good paddle player. And then and then you get to a point where you're like, where you start making the mistakes. It's that whole like conscious, I'm not going to say it now because I don't know exactly what it is, but like and then you realize like, oh wait, maybe I'm not that good. And then you go to Premier Paddle or you watch someone randomly in a club where you're like, I am so far away from, and then it settles in and you're like, okay.
Literally. And one last question on the training. You know, if you're with Gus Pratto,
Yeah.
you know, and you're learning so much from him, so much insight. You know, is there what aspect do you find the hardest to almost bring that into your actual gameplay? You know, what you can only learn so much, but when you see it, you know, live in action, is that a difficult process for you?
Yeah, I think. I think one difficult thing is being in the UK. It's hard to just train.
Yeah, okay.
And so I think that's like one of the biggest things. And when you watch these players, you're seeing players that are so well trained.
Yeah, man.
So I think that's just like the obvious thing. But you know, we're here in the UK. It's growing. We've got new clubs every week.
Yeah.
The same in places like Ireland, and I think it's moving in the right direction. So
Sick.
Absolutely. We've talked about your training and how you prepare, but also we're really interested in talking about your journey sort of into I mean, I would call it professional paddle. You know, you've played in FIPS and you're going down that road.
Yeah.
Let's get into that a little bit. The partnership challenge, which is something that for someone like me or Connor, it's our mates. And I've never played like a proper serious tournament, not even like LTA any grade here in the UK. How difficult is it to find the right partner when you're trying to compete seriously? They're like, okay, Louis, you've got this FIP bronze in Albania in a month.
Yeah.
How are you choosing someone to take with you?
It's really tough. I think mostly I play with people I know because I know how they play. We usually get on quite well.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest way. Obviously, when you play on the right as a right-hander, that is also a consideration because your partner is quite important, right? They're taking a lot of the overheads.
Yeah.
And actually the decisive shots in the match often fall to them.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing you have to consider. That's why, especially in the summer months, having a player on the left that can smash really well is...
when it's nice and warm and the balls are popping.
Yeah. and even in the winter, of course, now with the way the balls are going.
Yeah. You've got a good smash though. I've seen you smash.
I can take a bit of the burden.
You've got that Fran Guerrero in you, man. I'm telling you.
To be like Fran. No, I like to smash on the right, but you know what I mean? Like it's just that is an important consideration. I think and I think it's just about having a circle of people that you know and you can play with, you can train with, you can practice with, and figuring out, okay, is this something that would work well together?
Yeah.
For me, I've been lucky. It's been quite organic with that happening that way. But I do think as I go on, it's going to get more and more difficult. Because actually the pool of players in the UK is very small. In terms of people that want to play FIPS and do that kind of thing. So I think that's where the trouble comes. I mean, in Spain, it's much easier because there's a lot of players at training. I mean, there's a lot of players in Spain that are training, 3-4 hours a day and not even competing that much. And they could, if they do compete, it can be problems because they're insanely good. So you've got a much bigger pool. But as I said, I think as we grow as well, that will get better.
As you just said, you can't get picky here because there's not a lot of option. But if you could choose, or let's say, let's give you this scenario where you can not pick anyone, but you've got like a big pool of backhands to choose from. Is there a specific thing you would look for in that partner? Let's say, like tactically, or do you just want them to have a good smash? Do you want them to be very good at communicating in points?
From a mental,
emotional, like is there a specific thing from a partner that you really value?
I really value partners who are like thinkers and tactical, at least to some extent.
Someone you can plan.
Someone we can talk about like the strategy. As I said, some players like to play really on instinct, and that is amazing. But when things start to go wrong or whatever, then it's difficult. So for me, that's a big thing. And then in other things in terms of the playing style, I mean, it's also nice when someone is able to transition quickly to the net because that's something that I like to do. Coming from a tennis background, you have to use your strengths. But equally, in some ways, actually, the defense becomes very important for both me and the partner because in FIPS, the balls are very quick. And actually the people who are able to, I don't know, in Spanish they say aguantar, like resist. Like the people who are able to do that can actually find more break opportunities, right? So I think that actually becomes, because actually when the balls are fast, especially in summer, sometimes it's like everyone can smash. So it becomes what else can you do?
On top of that.
So I think that's a good one.
And you know, we've spoken about your content creating journey, now your paddle journey, and you know how serious you are about it. But obviously there comes a time when you merge these two worlds together. when you lose a tournament, when you lose a match, you don't just deal with the result. Now you also have to deal with turning it into a story, and a good one, as Connor was saying before, with the cinematic and like, you know, really like well thought videos. Has the camera made you better at processing setbacks? Or is it painful when you're like, okay, now I have to go back and I'm not in the mood, but like I have to edit
I
this.
also think it takes a certain amount of like vulnerability. You
Yeah.
know? You gotta like, you know,
put yourself out
be
there in
open
that way.
about it.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, if we go back into like the world of, you know, having an audience, and I think one valuable thing that a lot of people should, you know, stand near is like authenticity, right? And like you can't just have like a highlight reel on your page. So what's that process like for you when you come back and you're ready to like go to your editing room and you know the storyline already, and you know you're going to portray that? Is that something you've gotten used to then? Or is it tough?
If I'm honest, it actually got worse. Like at the beginning, I was way more relaxed about this stuff. But obviously, as it gets a bit more serious and you feel a little bit more pressure, then when you open up the file to edit and you're staring at the footage and you're like, oh god, then it gets bad. But I think, you know what, I think I've got a little bit better recently at using it all as learning experiences and remembering that's why, like you say, that's why people watch. They want to see the
100%.
authentic. They do want to see the losses. Sometimes the losses get more views than the
that's true.
So, but also I have to remember that it's still still been playing the sport for under 3 years. It's gonna happen.
Man. Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
And like just almost embrace that instead of just hyper criticizing everything that I do, because you know, if I look back at the videos from 6 months to a year ago, I can see the progress, you know.
Nice.
So
I bet that's lovely to actually look back on. Actually, like,
exactly.
It
is
a nice portfolio.
Especially at the beginning, I was awful.
You've got footage of you literally like picking up a racket essentially for the first time nearly on your page.
Literally.
And like if you look at that video from whatever 2.5 years ago.
Have you gone back to your first video that you posted just for fun?
I sometimes have a look and I'm like, what was I doing? What was that? But for a good year at the beginning, I really was. I was very aimless with my paddle. I didn't understand the game at all for a good year. And then it was only through that process of meeting people, like for example Adrian Torres, Tamara's coach, who I know really closely, and he was one of the first people that helped me understand the game a bit better and what I need to do. And then things started to click, but. Yeah, at the beginning it was
so sick. Well, you know, we'll move on to our next section here. You know, and you know, we kind of want to go into like sort of the training experience in Spain, and the way that, you know, from interviews and clips that we've seen, it's almost like the way training and having coaching in Spain is like it's the mecca of paddle in a way. You know, I'm curious, what do they have that, you know, other countries like the UK, you know, outside of Spain, essentially, or Argentina or South America,
and
have?
Also what made you, because we know you have I guess you sell a paddle experience to your followers, where you travel with them, if I'm not mistaken. It's super cool, guys. If you wanna check it out we'll link them,
of course,
obviously, like on Louis' socials. But you know, you go to Valencia, if I'm not mistaken, with the exactly, like why, obviously, well, we know why Spain, but what does my country, because I'm actually Spanish. I'm from Barcelona. What does that country have?
I've heard your accent a couple of times. I was like, oh, he's pronouncing it too.
Yeah, he's like our Spanish ambassador on the podcast. I'm Irish as well. And I'm Connor Riley. So I got like the branding of an Irishman. I'm also Filipino. So like, wow, it's some people think I'm like Samoan or something. It's a good mix. We do have some bridges into the paddle round, basically. But yeah.
What does that country have that they don't have elsewhere, or maybe, you know, in the UK. It might seem obvious, but you know.
Yeah, a few things. I mean, well, first of all, they have people that understand the game, and they have enough of them to sustain the sport, especially at professional level. You know, every academy in Spain, or the big ones, have a few people who have loads of experience and have a clear methodology on how they want you to play. And that methodology has been tested over time, or in some cases through data and things like that.
Okay.
The UK doesn't have that, doesn't have those people yet, really. But we also have a few other problems, which are that the courts in many cases, especially in London, are expensive. So it's hard not only to play, but if you want to do some training or something, that's also difficult. And we also just have like a population who are new to the sport, and that's normal. But in order to speed up that process, I think you need the people with knowledge, and you need the facilities which are accessible, and in some cases we are getting those things, in many cases we're not, and I think that's the struggle that's going to happen.
I heard you did a really cool interview with Gus Pratto recently, and I watched that, and I remember him saying, you know, there's a really good clip where it's like, what's you asking Gus, you know, what's keeping France, Italy, the Netherlands, any country from being like Spain or Argentina? And Gus was saying coaching. Like a country with a good coach, with someone like Gus Pratto, someone with, as you said, let's call him more than a coach, like a scientist, a paddle scientist. That's like, this is the methodology. This is what these 13, 14, 15-year-olds need to start doing now. And these are the, as you said, you know, today we're doing transitions to the net. Bajada transition, that's all we're doing. That's, you know, what's missing here. And I guess, as you said, it's a matter of time. Like if if a sport, being paddle, the second most popular sport in Spain, you've got 40 years of time since it, like, you know, got to Spain, or whatever, maybe more, I'm not too sure, but you've got decades to build those foundations. And I think it will come in the UK for sure, because if it's growing, there's definitely an interest, and there's definitely a market for it as well. And once we've got more courts and sort of supply and demand start, you know, getting to the same level, then prices will go down. And then you'll have like the younger players. You have juniors, English juniors that are, as I said, 13, 14, sort of getting into it.
I mean, France have now got some really strong young players. I don't know if you saw the junior champs. Was it the Junior World Cup?
It
the
was
the final, right?
That's actually it's so cool to watch that, because you're watching like the next generation. The level they play at is like insane.
The Junior World Cup.
Yeah, me and you watched it a little bit.
I watched I think it was like last year, a couple of years ago, Argentina versus Spain final in the Junior World Cup. I was like, these kids are literally 15, 16. Just smashing from behind the line. It's wild.
No, it's so fun. We've reached the end of our sort of bigger questions here. Obviously, we've got to bang it out with some little fun style questions. You're on the Off Court podcast. It's not all just serious stuff. Louis, our first question is what your AKA would be. You have Arturo the King, Tapia's Mozart, LeBron is El Lobo, the Wolf. Does Louis have a nickname yet? Is it still in the making? Or is there something that resonates with you?
If you didn't, what
I would go for... The Fox.
The Fox, I love it.
Sorry, I've got ginger hair, so you know I could take
El Zorro. You would be.
It sounds better in Spanish.
That's
Louis
way
El Zorro Jarrold.
El Zorro.
Okay. There you
go.
Like
that. That's
That's it.
You heard it here first.
And I feel like it's an animal that really suits you on court.
Appreciate that.
That's sweet.
Okay, ultimatum question.
This one's a hard one.
Yeah, this one's a hard one, but we'll see. Reach the top 800 by the end of the year, or never make another Padelactico video.
I mean, I can't never make a video again, guys.
And it will come. And it will come, the top 800.
Of course, if it's top 800 can wait for 10 years.
Yeah,
that's
Me
crazy.
You were laughing when you read that.
No. I was like, I kind of like Padelactico to keep making.
Yes.
Nice.
Next one. Stupa and Yanguas just announced their end of their partnership.
Yeah.
Is there any names that you would pair either of those guys up with?
We also know that you have a relationship with Mike as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I met Mike in Valencia. One of the nicest guys I've ever met.
He seems such like a down to earth.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, and he was super chill. So I really want to see Mike do well. And I think, you know what? I don't know, Leal and Guerrero, what's happening there.
Yeah.
So what? Leal? If Leal
Yanguas
went, that could be interesting.
I think my prediction.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be. You've got Leal Guerrero, Paquito Dineno, John Coqui.
Yeah.
And Yanguas Stupa. I think there's going to be a domino effect there. Maybe Yanguas Goni.
Oof.
Maybe. I mean, I know he's doing well with Edu right now, but I don't know. Maybe if someone because we know how like rankings work and how the sport sometimes as soon as you get the call from the top dog, you might have to be like, I'm sorry, but I need to go. If Yanguas calls up Aymar Goni, they might,
tempting.
Yeah.
And Aymar and Yanguas would be crazy.
Yeah,
it would be crazy.
The power, it's insane,
it would be insane. Yeah,
but I love Edu, so I kind of like Edu and Aymar as well. Like,
I mean they are a great pairing. We got to see. I mean they're playing now against Dineno Paquito. They were in the third set. We'll check now what's going on with that. Okay, so we're really close to the end now. Create your dream game. Choose your partner and opponents. Anyone you like. Doesn't have to be professional paddle players.
Professional paddle,
Who are you playing alongside with, and who are you playing against?
I'd play with Thierry Henry.
Okay,
let's
go. You're an Arsenal fan?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, from North London. There we go.
Yeah, go with Thierry. And I kind of like to see him play paddle. He's probably all right.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got the height, he's got the physique to make a really good backhand player.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
He's
So be a good partner.
I reckon he's got a good
You're with
smash.
Thierry Henry. Who are you playing against?
I would play against. Oof.
The football edition, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I would go. I mean, I'd love to just be on court with Arturo. Like, I'd love to see like play against Arturo.
Like against Coello
on the cross. On the cross.
Let's that.
No, because I'm on the cross with Arturo, so I need someone to be on the cross with Thierry that's not like fully fledged.
I love
you know
that.
what I mean? So I could go with like, it's really difficult. Like Messi or someone like that.
Yeah, we'll get that.
You heard it on the Off Court podcast first. Padelactico, Thierry Henry versus Coello Messi.
Literally.
There we go. Let's make it happen at some point. Yeah.
And our last question to send it out here, excluding Spain and Argentina from all the countries you visited, seen the quality of players, is there one country that you would put forward that has either grown in their skill level with paddle that
or the
got
potential best future?
Wow, that's a great question. Holland has a lot of potential. They got some really good young players. I've not done so many videos in France, but obviously France is the obvious one. One country that I'd like to see grow a lot is Norway. I went there.
I saw. Yeah.
And I, the buzz around paddle there was amazing.
So sick.
And obviously they got some couple of good young players, but they obviously need like loads more time and investment and things. But you know, eventually they have some of the right conditions. They have some of the best clubs I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, indoor only, I assume.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, literally indoor only. But it'd be good to see them catch up with Sweden or something like that.
I mean, one last fun one: indoor or outdoor?
Oh, you know what? I'm feeling outdoor now.
I'm such. This
our
is our
split, basically.
beef. I'm such an indoor guy.
I think from playing it, but also watching it. I also enjoy, you know, on a Premier Paddle level. I know there's other conditions that affect it, but when everything goes nicely, I love the outdoor tournament.
But that's the problem. That's why I say indoor, because like if everything goes nicely is such a big if, especially in somewhere like London. You're like, oh, Saturday I'm playing paddle.
Out
perfect.
here right now.
You wake up and you're like, you see the trees just like, and you're like, oh, no lobs today, I guess.
For me, outdoor is like amazing both to play and watch if the conditions like if there's no wind and the court is nice and slow,
and it's not 35 degrees.
Exactly, it's sunny but not too hot, and then it's like that is amazing.
I think a nice warm overcast day with no wind is perfect. Then you can you're not cold, you're not too warm, but you also don't have the sun in your eye or the wind.
But mostly in Premier Paddle, I'd rather see indoor.
Yeah. There's too many variables. Anyway, we reached the end of our interview.
Louis, Padelactico. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. If you guys don't follow Louis, do on all his socials. We'll link them here. Amazing content. And we can't wait to see where you go next and how the Padelactico experience goes and how it grows.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And good luck to you guys as well. I'm loving the podcast. And
thank you very much. We try our best.